Welcome back, Bills the Red, to another Minecraft Bedrock tutorial. Now today, I have a very interesting design behind me, because it is a Trident Sorter. Now I know what you guys might be thinking. I've been telling you guys forever now that Tridents, well, they're not sortable, but I have found a way to actually sort them out reliably. You can see here, I have a chest
full of a bunch of buckets, shears, flint and steel, tridents, a bunch of other stackable and non-stackable items.
And if I simply just take this entire chest, put it on top of this entire machine, you'll see all these items are going to drain in here. And one by one, all the different stackable items and non-stackable items will all be drained out here. To the right chest, we are going to have all our shears and flint and steel. So it doubles as a flint and steel sorter. Amazing. And in this center barrel is where I have all my tridents. Now, these tridents do not get here automatically, or you have to pick the tridents up yourself. But as you can see, this light turned on. This light tells you whenever a trident has been fired. And all you have to do is simply walk right up to the target block. You will pick it up. You simply throw the trident in here, and that'll turn off the light. And then if you go in the wrong time, you'll pick up an item, but just throw it back in the top barrel, and it'll be sorted into here. And you can see another trident went. I'll come here, take it, and it just is finishing up the last few items it has left to sort, with the last one being a trident. And you'll see that the entire system stops running, and the entire thing is really quite small. The entire system is only 5 tall, 3 wide, and 6 long, and then it has this little addition circuit here if you want a lamp to let you know when there is a trident ready for you to pick up, because there is a bug that tridents will despawn if you just leave them on the ground, so this lamp could be crucial to help you not lose any of your tridents by accident. Now before you guys go crazy, here is how this system behind me works, because really it is quite simple. Now this I all discovered while working on my super secret sorts all non-stackable items 2.0 version, which will be coming out in a couple weeks. You guys might as well subscribe to stay tuned from that, because, well, things are about to get crazy. Anyhow, so while I was working with dispensers, I realized that anytime you fire any item into a block, and these 3 blocks are all covered with solid blocks or full blocks, the item will go directly next to the dispenser into this hopper. If I block it, then it'll go to the other direction into this hopper. So it doesn't matter which direction you have this oriented, whatever side doesn't have a block is where the items are going to go. Now, this is especially interesting because anytime you put shears or flint and steel into the system, the flint and steel is not used, and the shears are also not used. You can see right here, if I switch them out, they will end up staying in the dispenser and they will never be fired out. This is especially useful because if I am to go in my inventory and just grab a bucket of water, you would think the bucket of water would also stay in the dispenser, but no, that bucket of water actually dispenses out into this hopper without placing the water, and if it's a bucket of fish, the fish will stay in the bucket. This is an extremely useful system here, just as it is itself, because it sorts out our shears and flint and steel from, well, every other item in the game. Now, when you put a trident in the system, that is where things get very interesting. You'll see that when a trident goes, it actually fires the trident within the dispenser. So this, you might think, oh, that's a pain in the butt, but it's the only item that will fire and stay there, and all you have to do is walk up to the front block and you pick it up. Basically, self-sorting a trident. Now, by combining this awesome feature with a bunch of, you guessed it, target blocks, my new favorite block in the game, and some redstone lamps, it will just let you know whenever there is a trident in the system. The trident will either hit the bottom or top target block. It depends on which orientation you have this, so you do need both, and that will end up triggering a system, turning on this lamp permanently until you come up and pick up that trident. Now, how this lamp turns off is anytime you open this barrel or close the barrel, it will automatically reset the lamp, because anytime you open this barrel is basically anytime you have a new trident to sort or to take out of the system. Now, at this point, I would typically go into the inner workings of the system, but it's really quite small, and all the redstone there is just to unlock and lock hoppers at the perfect timing to make sure it works flawlessly every single time. If you want a world download of this, that will be in the description of the video, as well as a material list, so go check that out. And if you're here, again, consider subscribing. Got a really awesome video coming up soon that you will not want to miss. But with that, let's get into the tutorial. Now, for this entire system, you're going to need to make sure you clear out an area that is 3 wide, it is 6 deep, and then it is 5 tall, 2 of those blocks being underneath the floor, and then 3 of them being on top of the floor, with your input chest it's going to be right above this. This is not the actual input chest. This is just to give you scale perspective. And then we're going to have our 2 output chests right here, with our trident barrel right in the center. Now from here, you can take these items wherever you want, whether you want them to go into a big massive sorting system or item silo. But for this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make the items go into just these 2 chests and barrel. Now to make this a bit easier to follow along, I'm going to go ahead and label all my barrels and chest. So on the far left one, I have all my items that are not Trident and that are not a Flint and Steel or a Shears. And all those items are going to end up here on the left. The Tridents, of course, you're going to have to pick up manually, but then you'll put them in the center barrel. And then your Shears and Flint and Steel will all end up in this far right chest. So now we're going to come around to the back side and we're going to place in all our hoppers. So I'm going to have 1 hopper going into our all other items chest, and I'm going to have 3 hoppers going back into our Flint and Steel and Shears chest. Then we're going to place 2 target blocks right here, and you need both of these because depending on the orientation of the system, one of them is going to be effective and one of them might not be quite as effective, or lag might cause one of them to work and one of them not. So just make sure you have both of them, and that should make the system work a lot smoother and better. Next, we're going to come out 1 block, place a temporary block, and we'll have a sticky piston with a forward-facing dispenser right here. Next, once I clear out a little bit more space, I'm going to put a solid block here with a comparator, and then I'm going to break our temporary block here. Then I'm going to place a redstone torch here. We'll have a repeater right here on 3 ticks going into a solid block. That's going to be activating our dispenser every time it comes here to actually dispense the item to activate the sorting. And then also on the other side of this torch, I'm going to have a glass block with a redstone repeater on 2 ticks. Then coming down from that torch, I'm going to come down 2 blocks. Here I'll have a bit of redstone dust, a torch. Then I'm going to have another block right here with redstone dust. I'm going to use a target block here. We'll have a redstone torch, and then come up 1 block, and I'll have a repeater right here on 3 ticks. Next, I'm going to come all the way back to our 2-tick repeater, and I'm going to have 2 solid blocks here with another 2 right next to the comparator. We'll have a repeater here on 3 ticks and 2 bits of redstone dust, the redstone torch on top of that block that the 2-tick repeater is going directly into. We'll have a block separating the 2 bits of redstone dust, target block here with a 1-tick repeater, and then I'm also going to have a solid block here, 1 more solid block, and a bit of redstone dust. The final steps here is to have a hopper going straight down, hopper going to the side, and then right here is where you're going to have your input chest. So this is where you're going to throw in all your items. Now, at this point, you need to make sure you put in a couple more blocks. These can be solid or glass blocks. You're going to want to have 2 blocks right here, and then underneath this target block, there needs to be a block here. If there is no block here, the system will not work. So again, make sure you have some sort of glass or solid block there, and then also 2 right there. Now, if I was to go ahead and throw in a chest full of a bunch of items, you can see that the entire system is going to go ahead and start sorting them. We got our items that are not Tridents and Flint and Steel and Shears. We got Flint and Steel and Shears going in here. And then anytime a Trident is fired, all you have to do is simply walk up to the target block. You'll pick it up, and then you can put it in the barrel right here. Now, this is good and all, and you can stop the video right here if you want, but if you want to make the system a little bit better with some redstone lamps to let you know whenever a Trident is fired and you need to come over here and pick it up, well, that is what I'm going to be showing you guys how to do right now. So the easiest thing you can do right here is just to put a bit of redstone lamp here, and then depending on your orientation, whenever a Trident is fired, the redstone lamp will light up temporarily. But you can see that lamp turns off, which is not ideal, because if you're not looking at the machine, you won't notice that Trident was fired. So what we are going to do is add in another lamp right here that will stay on until we know all the Tridents that were there get picked up and put into this barrel. So what we're going to do is we're going to come underneath the system, and where the 2 target blocks intercept or are diagonal from each other is where we're going to have a downward facing dropper. In this dropper, you need any sort of random junk item that you don't care about. And then also here we need an upward facing dropper directly into that dropper because we're creating a T flip-flop. So I'm going to temporarily break this target block, come up here, place in that dropper, and then replace that target block. Now that we have this system in, we're simply going to come out to the side. We're going to have a redstone comparator. That's going to go into a bit of redstone dust up here. So that's going to turn on the lamp permanently until you come over here, pick up the Trident, and put it in the barrel. Now, in order to detect when you put it in the barrel, we are going to take an observer, and this observer is going to come straight down right underneath the barrel. It's going to go into a solid block. Right here we'll have a redstone torch, solid block on top of that, and then another redstone torch. And just like that, that is all the redstone to the system complete. And you can see now that if I'm to put a Trident into the system, you'll see that the redstone lamp lights up, and then this lamp will stay on until I walk up here, pick up the trident, and it will stay on until I open the barrel and put it in, and then of course it's going to turn off. And that is how you make a Trident Sorter for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Now if you guys enjoy this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe. It helps the video out a ton. But this has been Rock Builder, and I'll see you all in the next one.